Just in time. I've talked to Madame Pearl. She will handle all the arrangements for your passage, so you can enter the world in canvas to find my ancestor Graphia. This is an important matter. Furthermore, your journey gives her the chance to uncover something she's been yearning to understand for years. The secret to Graphia's art of imagenesis. Once you've fully rested, you may make your way to the dock in Seafeld City. Madame Pearl has a special ship waiting for you there. It will take you to the border between this world and the world in canvas, a place known as Inkford Hermitage. That's your final stop before entering the world in canvas, a place to gather your supplies and rest up before you set out on the journey ahead. I know you'll have to go alone this time, but I don't think it'll be dangerous. After all, that realm was created by Graphia, my ancestor. The thought of it makes me feel calm, in a strange but comforting way. If you get to meet her, please give her my regards. I am indeed quite curious. I'd love to see this ancestor of mine for myself and hear her story in her own words. But someone must stay here and keep watch. Madame Pearl wishes to confer with me and General Yao Guang about our next steps in dealing with Asat Pramod. So I'll be entrusting this mission into the world in canvas to you. Go ahead. Set out once you've rested up. I'll be here with Welt and the others, awaiting good news from you.
In other words, that woman wants you to take Shuhu and jump straight into the Veracity and leave the rest to the Eon's stomach acid? And this is between me and him, right? Why are you tagging along?
Relax. I'll say my goodbyes and be gone. A dignified funeral, If you ask me, this ending is indeed grand enough.
I don't care about any of that. There's only one thing I care about. Does he have to die?
Here's a piece of advice, little cub. Whether he lives or dies is his choice. That's the one thing you don't get to decide for him.
It has landed.
What?
Nothing. Just a seabird landing on the rocks. A blade forged of mortal steel cannot sever an undying fate. If Shuhu is to be put down, the options are few. And that Leviathan is one of them.
In time, people will say this. The culprit of the Juming gave his life for the greater good and plunged into the abyss alongside the abomination.
I'm not as noble as you make it sound. Many years ago, you invited me to join the Galaxy Rangers. I refused for one reason. I'm a petty man. I was never born to carry some greater good. This is between Shuhu and me. Nothing more.
Can't argue with that. A Galaxy Ranger through and through. Well then, I won't say anything more.
Blade, you sure about this?
For years, death has clung to me like a curse, etched into my bones. If there is a chance to make a god feel the same pain, I would do it, even if this body is reduced to ash. As for everyone else, there's no need to drag them into this. We'll proceed as Yao Guang proposed. Bury Shu Hu at the end of the world in canvas, taking me with him, and let the veracity dissolve us both.
Take care.
How about you stay as well? You might as well see it through to the end with us.
Planarcadia has bigger problems that need my attention. Your instincts were right. That meanie pulling strings from the shadows is none other than a Sat Pramod.
Who else would want to kick a Ha's head like a ball?
So, I need to get back and finish my job.
Investigating a Lord Ravager sounds like a job you don't come back from.
Therefore, it also pays very well.
Then here's hoping you live long enough to collect your payment. Every time, when it's just the two of us, you go quiet.
You know what I'm going to say. The seabird's flown off. It's time for us to go too.
The terror slumbering at the heart of Planarcadia is Ouroboros.
After the swarm disaster, the veracity vanished, never to appear again for more than 700 amber eras. Their last rumored sighting was 500 years ago.
History fictionologists claim that Ouroboros lies in wait at the edge of the cosmos, guarded by their children, awaiting the day of their return.
I've heard that story before, but it wasn't about the edge of the cosmos. It was Pier Point. They say that the preservation is nothing more than a facade, and the IPC is, in truth, a cult devoted to the veracity.
Organic life has quite the imagination. They've said other things, too. That Louis Fleming seeks to ascend as the Eon of Wealth. That the Council of Mundanites are mere hounds of Dr. Primitive. That the Marketing Development Department colludes with the destruction, turning a blind eye to the spread of Stellarons. Such rumors are endless. I believe the General should be able to tell which are true and which are not.
I've never heard the last one, so let's assume it's the only one that's true. Such terrible breath. Once this Leviathan awakens, the Arcadia's destruction would be all but instantaneous.
For now, this remains conjecture. The sealed remains appear to be a husk that Ouroboros once shed. Why it's here, and how it's connected to the elation, remain unknown. Yet even a fragmented remnant of an Eon is a threat that can't be ignored. The calamity of the Leviathan must not be allowed to re-emerge in this world.
Naturally. That is why I'm here. And it's about time for the two Nameless to arrive. Oh, you're just on time.
General Yao Guang, as instructed, warding talismans have been placed at over a dozen sites across Planarcadia.
My thanks. It was Mr. Yang's talent of creation out of nothing that allowed us to reproduce dozens of plumes and complete the deployment with such speed. Now, with yin and yang aligned, and all four aspects in place, as long as we set up the last formation core, the Decalight reflection barrier will be complete.
Using the divine eye of the Spiritus to weave a giant web, one that ensnares countless possible futures. General, have you truly made up your mind?
Though Shuhu has been eradicated, the signs of doom have not faded. On the contrary, they grow ever clearer. After much consideration, the source can only be this restless corpse.
One crisis is yet to pass, and another is already upon us. The Arcadia's ley lines were already riddled with scars, and now even the ancient tree's seal is starting to loosen. While Evanesia is asleep, someone must take up her duty to guard this place.
But defending isn't the way of the hunt. If you don't want to become the prey, you must become the hunter.
General, do you intend to go on the offensive and suppress the remains of the Veracity?
How could I? The Joy Seeker could barely confine that husk using the Abundance's ambrosial arbor as its cage. I'm not that arrogant as to place myself alongside the gods. I'm not here to guard against an Eon, but against a lesser menace. Lord Ravager Asat Pramod. This barrier is prepared for him.
Asat Pramod has been meddling with the game from the shadows. His intentions unclear. We know little about him or the Veracity. By chance, however, a friendly citizen has provided us with intel.
Ouroboros' remains are in Ahotopia, aren't they? Silence is an answer in itself. I've seen that reaction too many times.
I'm not surprised that you were the first to discover it. You were in the Torn Scroll too. The probability of you noticing was 24%.
That's a little low, don't you think? I'd put it at well over 90.
What I don't understand is this. There were countless ways to verify your hypothesis, yet you chose the most unconventional one. You bypassed security and broke into the building to confront me in person. What is your objective?
This is no confrontation. It's a warning, Madam Pearl. I'm a security officer, and there is only one reason I'm here. While everyone else is fixated on the Phantasmoon games, only the Department of Aberration Defense is watching other places.
Like the location where the new Herald of Death case was closed?
Correct. The incident involved 4 Daybreak warriors, 3 nameless, 1 detective, and 1 officer. But just moments ago, a 10th set of footprints appeared at the scene.
After the investigation, we learned that the traces were left deliberately. A blatant provocation.
The Lord Ravager bent on destroying the elation came uninvited. Make no mistake. Planarcadia is a stage he chose with care, and drawing the abundance into the fray was hardly a whim.
Our top priority is to dispose of Shuhu's flesh properly to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands and causing another calamity.
That said, we cannot afford to ignore Asat Pramad's next move.
This giant web is prepared for that very purpose. Once the entire planet is folded into the divination's trajectory, under the gaze of the Omnitia, all possibilities will be laid bare. When that time comes, he won't wish to leave any footprints behind.
One final question. Why did the Lord Ravager choose at this place? Does he have an ulterior motive? Or is this merely some twisted joke?
That question should be left to the professionals. Don't forget, we have a detective who can't seem to rest. Let's hope the accumulation of variables can tip the scales in our favor.
And so the people set out, and the gondola, bound for distant lands, set sail. At the end of the world, the Elation once again declared war upon the Veracity. Hey, frail little humans! Ouroboros split their mouth wide open. Whoever can fill my whole mouth with but a single thing shall receive a reward, my tongue. The fool known as the Shepherd captured a comet, but it wasn't even enough to fill the gap between the Veracity's teeth. The bartender Baraji opened the wine cellar, yet they only grew drowsy, drifting off to sleep. And en route, he crept up to the Veracity's ear and told them a corny joke. The Veracity pondered it for 10 amber eras, then burst into laughter at their own amusement. En route spread his hands and said, "See, I filled your mouth with laughter."
Then what happened?
Then the Veracity said, "Are you kidding me?" And with that, they opened their gaping maw and tore en route to pieces.
What kind of nonsense is that?
Those are the facts, my inquisitive auditor. If you want to hear more stories, you're welcome to discuss with your classmates.
We came here to investigate the Veracity and Asat Pramad, but all we got were stories that only a 3-year-old would believe.
Rumors don't just appear out of thin air. It's just a matter of how much truth you think they hold.
At least 90% of that was made up.
Sometimes that last 10% is all you need. Oh, plenty of bystanders around. Let's hear what they have to say.
You two asking about the Veracity? You think about walking that path?
Walk the path of Veracity? Do I need to eat everything in sight?
You got it. Kids always dream big. Some are bulldozers, some are monsters, and I am Autoboy!
Can you talk normal? Stop gulping for air.
I swore to become a veracity path strider. Hide everything. Tasty, nasty, anything I could shoot. Finally, I pinched my nose and swallowed loose mouth, and they looked at me.
Ouroboros?
Nah. Ah. Very regrettable.
Enough already.
I'm telling you, it was all bluffing. The fools didn't lose. Poor Root and Dorothy, the veracity wasn't looking, roll up her skin like a grape, snatched it up and poached it. Then poof, they were gone. The Comic-Con Collective don't got a veracity card. I already filed a formal complaint with the organizers.
You should be putting this much effort into your studies!
They say a dull pen beats a sharp memory. My memory's dull, and my pen's not much better.
Then you must have a lot of stationery.
A kindred spirit. Miss, it seems you're one of us as well. I've met far too many fools who can't even read. Oddly enough, those of us who truly love learning are the rare ones. Interested in studying the knowledge of the laughter? I have a reference book here. You can have it.
This feels completely made up. But, thanks anyway.
Oh, please. Thank the seniors. To compile this book, they offended every Eon they possibly could, and narrowly escaped death at the hands of each and every one of them. As for me, I'm just the one who keeps the books circulating.
Hey, friends! How was your first day of school? Sparksy's here to pick you... Where were you just now? You opened the door for us and just disappeared. Don't tell me you're up to something again.
Oh, still doubting me? You're breaking Sparkskull's heart here. That whole foolish thing. I took on every emoji in the tavern by myself, fought them all the way to the end of the world, and even wore my mask down to nothing. But honestly, this place runs on rumors. Aha is being chased by the veracity. Aha chases the veracity. We won't get anywhere following stories like this.
Let's go through what we know so far. Ooh. Yeah, it's a complete mess.
So, after a bit of thought, Lady Sparksy came up with a brilliant idea. I borrowed a nifty little gadget from a friend. The Unreal Sparks and Spark! No idea how it works, but apparently this light bulb makes you smarter the moment you put it on.
Does this friend know you borrowed it?
A Supramod has a gun to our heads, and this is what you're worried about? He'll find out one day.
Well then, I'll go first.
It, doesn't look very reliable. Are you sure about this?
No worries. If anything goes wrong, mind in my head will protect me.
Doesn't seem to have any effect.
No, it's working perfectly. I get it now. All of it. No need to dance around. Our enemy is a Lord Ravager. There's only one question we need answered. How does Asat Pramod plan to destroy Elation?
Correction. The effect is very obvious.
Judging by Nanook's habit of picking Lord Ravagers, I wouldn't be surprised if Asat Pramod was once a masked fool, and therefore knows Aha's weakness. The Arcadia is like a microcosm of eons and paths. People indulge themselves in fabricated happiness, unable to pull themselves away from it. Many have expressed their concerns. This isn't elation. Aha is playing with fire.
A classic social realist deduction. Old-fashioned. Ooh, but effective. We're closing in on the truth.
Yes, the answer is all but revealed. You are Asat Pramod, Sparksy.
Do you have evidence?
Of course. The truth is so simple that everyone overlooked it. The evidence is... you were the first person I met when I got off the express.
If I am Asat Pramod, would you and Grey Hair have been able to walk out of the school alive?
Yeah, fair point.
Just take that thing off already.
That's weird. I thought I was on the right track.
Let me give you a lesson. Deduction isn't about people skills. It's about smart tricks and flawless logic. Watch and learn. Sparkle, master of the classic whodunit, has entered the chat.
You changed your clothes just for this?
First of all, Ouroboros likes to eat. Secondly, whatever they eat disappears completely. Therefore, veracity is also a form of destruction. This is the classic mystery of one culprit, two identities. The one trying to kill Elation is... the Lord Ravager, Asat Pramod, played by the Veracity! What am I even saying?
Oh, classic whodunit. This is more like a classic Who's the Dummy.
I get it now. All this thing does is make wild guesses sound reasonable. So far, that's the most accurate piece of information we've gotten.
No need to be so serious, Detective. Why don't you show us what you've got? By the way, what type of detective are you?
Me? I'm the tough guy type. I don't waste time on useless details. I aim straight at the heart of the problem. You're not wrong. Asat Pramod is Nanook's weapon to assassinate Aha. Whatever his plan may be, the target doesn't change. Remember, as far as humanity knows, there are only 3 ways an Eon can fall.
A broader path engulfs a narrower one. Divine warfare between eons, and the third one. What was it again?
Forcing an Eon to turn away from their own path.
Whichever it is, none of it sounds remotely connected to Planarcadia. So, what makes you so certain Asat Pramod is here on business, not on vacation?
Because we folks just dug up one heck of a treasure from underground. And in the stories tied to them, we've unearthed more than a few names worth paying attention to. Right. He's the one I can't stop thinking about. The stories change every time, but they all circle back to the same logic. En route defeated the Veracity by some means.
You're right. Then who is this en route? Do you know him?
En route.
Of course she does! Everyone in the tavern knows that name. Long ago, its owner grew tired of jokes, cast aside his mask, and walked away. Some say he became a mourning actor. Others say he jumped into IX's black hole. But none of that matters. What truly matters is that you have my unreal Sparks and Spark.
I knew it.
Give it back, give it back! That's a big order my client wants immediately.
What do you mean, give it back? It just wandered off, and I happened to find it on the way, so I brought it home. You want it? Here, take it now.
Absolutely not. Wait, right now? This doesn't sound like you at all.
No. If it's a no, it's a no. Guess I'll keep it. Bye-bye.
Get back here!
Sir, do you need to hire a private detective?
Hey!
Can you catch her for me?
Of course. I'll have that thing returned to you safe and sound in half a day. But, in exchange, I'd like you to elaborate a bit more on what you were saying.
Oh, so that's why you're here. Now, old Sempo's intel isn't cheap. Waiving the fee won't quite cut it, will it?
Name your price. Put it on Pearl's tab.
Just kidding. Money talks boring. Besides, the Astral Express and I go way back. Oh, and I wouldn't scam you two. The en route you're looking for lives up to the name. There's nowhere he can't reach. Only places he hasn't been yet. He's the gold standard of the masked fools. He only shows up where he's least welcome. A mourning actor's stage, a friend's wedding, even inside the Veracity's mouth. All for the sake of a good laugh. Oh.
That lines up. Sounds like the origin of the legend. So, he's a friend of yours?
Not a chance! Back when old Sempo was still a kid, en route was already a name in the history books. He left the tavern during the Second Prosperity. They say after hearing 30 trillion jokes, he never laughed again. Before he left, en route said one thing that, at the time, no one cared about. Elation has been dead for a long time.
Where did he go after he left the tavern?
The tavern has 10,000 mouths, all telling different stories. All I know is this. He said he was headed for the true world's end, and then he vanished without a trace.
How do you know all this?
Oh, I've been around long enough to have my own channels. Just trust old Sempo. And about catching Sparksy?
Leave it to me. I keep my word. See? You only need that 10% of the story to be true.
The last thing he said was really scary.
So many unanswered questions about en route. He has to be tied to Asat Pramod somehow. But our leads at the tavern have run their course. Let's go pay a visit to another expert next. Speak of the devil. Only a Cienjo general could have arranged something like this, I suppose.
I'm surprised as well. You've only just left Amphorius, and already you've managed to draw the attention of another Lord Ravager.
Miss Ron May? And Miss Ting Yoon?
We're here by General Yao Guang's request. It seems we arrived just in time.
At first, I only came because the Shenzhou extended an invitation, and it seemed impolite to refuse. Now that I'm here, I see it was well worth the trip. So, let me get to the point. Ouroboros has long been dead. Their death was merely buried beneath layers of secrecy.
Hardly surprising. They disappeared after the swarm disaster, and there are many different opinions on where they went. The Intelligentsia Guild claims the Veracity ate their fill and entered hibernation. I don't buy it. Those scholars are fond of post-meal naps themselves, likely just projecting their own habits.
You seem surprisingly calm, which makes sense. After all, the shadow in your right hand is evidence as well. Why don't you tell everyone what happened to the Galaxy Rangers back on Von Walk?
Von Walk.
Sprightly Von Walk. I've heard there's a particular phenomenon that occurs on that rainforest planet. Plants multiply and grow and are then harvested like wild grass. A cycle repeating every few decades. Almost identical to the Phantom Moon games.
But how are the two connected? When you hear plants and growth, shouldn't that make you think of abundance? Huh. Wait.
It seems you figured it out. By coincidence, abundance is another thing the two worlds have in common.
When coincidences pile up, they cease to be coincidences, Mr. Ashvale. No. Leader of the Rangers, Mr. La Mancha. Perhaps you could explain this to our nameless friend.
Back on Von Walk, I'd already long since stopped being a ranger. Your conjecture is basically correct, Miss Ron May. You're not the only genius to take life as a subject of study. By the time I arrived, the atavistic experiment was already approaching its final phase. Dr. Primitive had set his sights on an ancient Leviathan. Beneath Von Walk's surface, there also lay the remains of the Veracity.
You stopped him.
The Rangers stopped him. Back then, Mr. N was still human.
Now, deep beneath Ahatopia, another corpse of the Leviathan lies buried. If I'm not mistaken, there are countless other worlds carrying out the same ritual. Aha sealed Ouroboros' body among the stars, suppressed it with abundance, siphoned the power of the Path of Veracity, and called it a game. This is what people call the Phantom Moon games.
Uh-huh. Why would they do such a thing?
You may remember, the Express once delivered a Leviathan's carcass to me. That wasn't the only one in my collection. By arranging remains from different eras in sequence, I discovered something rather intriguing. At a certain moment over 1,000 Amber eras ago, just as Akivili began traveling in pursuit of their ideal, all creations of the Veracity lost the same organ, their taste buds.
What does that imply?
The purpose of consumption changed. Be they spawns, depth crawlers, or void-song whales, their genetic markers encoding gustatory organs vanished entirely. Creatures walking the path of veracity became nothing more than biological black holes, consuming without discrimination. This was not natural evolution. Through the simulated universe, I identified the point of divergence in history. A concept had disappeared from the path of veracity. Consider this. What do taste buds provide?
Yummy flavors?
Precisely. Savoring something's aftertaste is an act of elation.
So Aha stole the original primum mobile of the veracity?
The simulated universe proves nothing on its own, but the primal desires of life have always been entangled. Think of it as my intuition. The conflict between the eons of elation and veracity stretches all the way back to primordial times.
How many people know about this?
There used to be 2. I only told Yu Qing 2. Now, there are 5. After this, I can't be sure.
Exploit the old conflict between Aha and Ouroboros to ignite a divine war, or allow intersecting paths to devour one another. Of the 3 known ways to kill an Eon, the Arcadia fulfills at least 2. Now who still thinks Asat Pramod is here on vacation?
But you still haven't explained where it came from.
You mean the shadow? It has nothing to do with Funwalk.
Oh?
Call it a twist of fate. This isn't my first encounter with the Astral Express, nor my first time dealing with a Lord Ravager. When my home was destroyed by Zulo, I had a brief encounter with a former navigator.
A navigator of the Express?
Yes. Starseer, I see. He'd already retired by then. He was the one who told me about the shadow. According to IC, it was one of many remnants left behind when the Express first carved paths along the edges of the cosmos. I led the Rangers to suppress the shadow and devised the plan to assassinate Zulo. But I never learned why it was there in the first place.
Don't you find it strange, Mr. Ashvale?
Strange?
When coincidences pile up, they cease to be coincidences. Like an experiment with results that are too perfect, it's enough to send a chill down your spine. If you don't mind, let's walk through the whole thing once more. Earlier, what did you 2 uncover in the tavern?
Someone suspected to be Asat Pramod knew about the Veracity's secret. Before disappearing, he said he was headed for the end of the world.
And then? Who did he say the shadow belonged to?
A former navigator. The shadow was a remnant left behind when he charted the cosmos.
If the world's end isn't the tavern, then where is it?
I don't know if anyone can answer that question. Not even Akivili. Wait. Don't tell me.
En route only goes where he isn't welcome. After leaving the tavern, he went to the Astral Express.
The detective game is over. I have to say, not many people can make me change my plans. Whether in the past or present, you've always been one of them.
So, it is you.
You know how it is, kid. I've always enjoyed arriving uninvited.
Pearl said she would arrange a ferry to pick us up at the Seafeld City dock. The place we're going to holds clues about Graphia. Really?
Ticket before boarding and be a model passenger. We wish you a pleasant journey. Attention passengers, welcome to the seaside.
It is an honor to, well, shall I say, be of service to you again. To be honest, when Madame Pearl invited you to visit the Perlux Tower, I was supposed to be your guide. I ended up being replaced by a total fraud. My name is Feld. By order of Madame Pearl, I will be escorting you to your destination. You are too kind. I followed the battle in Seafeld City very closely. Serving a hero such as yourself is a true privilege. I assume Madame Pearl has already briefed you on our destination? I see. It so happens that Madame Pearl is tied up with an unforeseen event, so allow me to brief you in her stead. The destination of our boat journey is a hotel known as Inkford Hermitage. It is situated at the end of a Dovebrook tributary that ultimately flows into the sea. It is one of the points where the world in canvas intersects with reality.
Well, Graphia's former residence was located there. Legend says the miraculous encanvassing of the mortal world happened there. Would Madame Pearl, a die-hard fan, pass up a sacred site like that? Word is that Madame Pearl just flicked her wrist, signed a check with an astronomical figure, and bought the whole plot of land. She also snatched up every single piece of Graffia's lost works she could find without bothering to verify their authenticity. Whew, I guess money really does let you do whatever you want. That's not even the half of it. I don't know where her obsession comes from, but she's dead set on the idea that Graffia is still alive. If she gets even a whiff of anything remotely related to Graffia, she's got her people on it at the snap of a finger. But all they could find were Imagine knockoffs, random, pretty redheads based on nothing but imagination. I bet her reaction went something like this. Objective. Locate the original. Error. Detecting excessive quantity of low-quality merchandise.
You! I remember you! You're that fraudster from Perlux Tower!
Perlux Tower? I've never set foot in that place in my life.
Oh, I know it's you. I've seen the footage. You're wearing the exact same outfit.
Oh, a slip up in an otherwise perfect plan. Relax. Your job is safe this time.
Cut it out, you scoundrel! You can't talk your way out of this. Who exactly are you?
This is the author of Fluffy Across the Blue. Blurry QR code.
Huh. Is that so? My apologies. How rude of me. Miss Colt, it's an honor to finally see the face behind the work. Please pardon my yelling. I didn't know.
No worries, no worries. It's only normal for a famous comic artist to travel with bodyguards, no?
Miss Blurry QR Colt, let's be clear. You are being transported under escort.
Your current credit balance is in the negative. Madame Pearl has offered you a lifeline by asking you to complete the next volume of The Fluffy.
Whoa, this is not my fault. Remember Alloy King Pom Pom from Pearl-X Tower? I tried to put everything on Pearl's tab, but she found out and charged it back to me. Who knew a figurine could be so expensive? It cost me more than my entire savings. I went all in on learned coins. There goes my licensing fees and royalties. I lost every single penny.
So you're escorting her to, shall we say, an intensive creative retreat?
Correct. The objective is to deliver the manuscript and clear her debts. The estimated duration is 56 days.
Hear that? It's not a hotel. It's hell, where you get whipped for not finishing your scripts on time.
The boat has arrived. When you're ready, let's begin our journey to Inkford Hermitage. Please, mind your step as you board. We have arrived. This is the snowy shore of the canvas world, Inkford Hermitage.
Oh. Are those Wispae floating on the water?